a crisis, yeah. NRP, listen to the people's voices.
Listen.
Contract a company to supply the whole and need this with $1 million a day, yeah. Because water is well needed. An exploration company to find geothermal energy, yeah. To supply neighboring islands with cheaper prices for electricity for you and me, yeah. Right. While protecting the environment and the ozone. That's why this is the greenest island in the whole wide world. So ends, cover all ends. Got to NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. We got them cover all ends. We got to cover all ends. We got them NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. Cause we cover all ends. Yeah, cover all ends. 250 men and women was sent to institutes of further learning. Your home building program alone built over 175 homes and made them all affordable for your hardworking people. NRP, you're on target. 225 people were approved for lands you place on the market. The entire main road is now complete. Catalyzed water makes electricity for you and me. It is there to see. So on NRP, these people depend to cover all ends, yes. So tell your neighbor, tell your friend, NRP to the end. Cause ends, we cover all ends. We got to NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. Look, cover all ends. We got them cover all ends. We got them NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. Cause we cover all ends. Yeah.
You got one of the best drag racing track. Interest schools visitors know you are trapped. Jumpstart the industry, we cut and export. We establish the fisheries score. Support the farmers with new technology. Improve all them productivity. The mediation center that you built to help the judiciary system. The primary school that you build a Cornhill. Cheaper gas prices, weekly meetings. NRP say you're really working. Tell them no procrastinating. Tell them that you ain't waiting. Because it's time for voting.
NRP support us and in the end. Because and NRP people need this depend to cover all ends, yes. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, NRP here again. All ends, cover all ends. We got to NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. Look, cover all ends. We got them cover all ends. We got them NRP, whoa, yes, we got them covered. Cause we cover all ends. Chickens
I can assure you that the Nevis Reformation Party has big dreams and big plans. Today, the people of Nevis must decide who are the men of vision in politics.
Prosperity, development in every angle, a piece of it just for you and me. What a force of positive thinking from the men of the NRP. In the darkest time they still shining. Let's give it up for the Green Party. What a drastic change has happened. For me to sing out loud. Infrastructure strong like a nothing. Let me hear it throughout the crowd. Performance for all to see, and memories we made as one body we proclaim. Never will be detained. Tell them that we're here to reign. Boy, tell them that we're here to reign. Oh, Lord, oh, yeah. Tell them we're here to reign. Talk about prices, you know cost of living has dropped. Then you talk about things to do, not a man can complain about that. I'm not saying that they are perfect and that they are always right, but the second time around for this party, all would walk in this all to see progress from this Green Party. I know they can't do it like we. Wave your green rag, let me see. Stronger, we're moving with the ability. Performance for all to see. And memories we made as one body we proclaim. Never will be detained. Tell them that we're here to reign. Give it up for the green team. Sing it out now. Sing it out now. Oh, oh, oh. Sing it out now. Seasons back on track, we're flying 500 strong. I take it down to the racetrack, another one will be going down. Water running steady and clean, more performance by the green team. With the wind farm blowing strong, fuel surcharge bound to go down. Take a drive to Cherry Garden, affordable housing for everyone. We elect the NRP.
memories we made as one body we proclaim. Never will be detained. Tell them that we're here to reign. N-R-P, performance. N-R-P, that's what matters. N-R-P, performance. N-R-P, that's what matters. We're moving forward. We're moving stronger. We're moving with the ability. Performance for all to see. And memories we made as one body we proclaim. Never will be detained. Tell them that we're here to reign. Here to reign. Here to reign. Walking in sunshine. We're walking in sunshine. Let's walk in the sunshine. We're on the move again. Walking in sunshine. We're walking in sunshine. Let's walk in the sunshine. We're on the move again.
This is the party for the people of Nevis, the ruling enemy party. I remember 1971. That's when this party all began. Formed by a team of intelligent men with the aspiration and a good intention to the betterment of our division. Simeon Harris, Ivers, Swanson all had this vision to save Nevis from colonialization and be chosen destination to elevate above recession and give work to each and everyone. But it was not easy, I say. We had our hiccups along the way. Still we are being triumphant. He said the infrastructure, victory, progress and prosperity. Let me rally with NRP. Victory, progress and prosperity. Let me rally with NRP. What the next party did in 40 years, we do much more in 4. Road, water, farming, housing. Let me rally with NRP. Party earth and inclusivity. Let me rally with NRP. Conscientiously, it's the ruling party. Let me rally with NRP. In spite of all, we are moving forward. The fact that cannot be denied. Take a look at the 4 seasons. Talk about the sewerage, giving us advantage to mobilize in the federation. Joseph and the Patrice Roberto working with a good plan. Now see we have another hotel on hand. endoscope machine at the hospital. Hand in hand, we care about everyone. Sing this song, one destination. Nothing good and easy, I say. Sometimes there is hurdles in our way. Still we manage to get over. We set the infrastructure. Victory, progress and prosperity. Let we rally with NRP. Victory, progress and prosperity. Let me rally with NRP. What the next party did in 14 years, we do much more in 4. Youth skill program, scholarship, nurses training, cardiac strip. Rally with NRP. 40th anniversary. Come rally with NRP. Conscientiously, it's the ruling party. Baby, rally with NRP. Gimme. Yes, I see, we have come a long way. Performance stadium already on display. New music industry, wind farm electricity, geothermal energy, keeping the whole nature green. Joseph and Carlisle Posey, I know they're setting the pace to keep us first in the
Something coming out
family.
the monitor, so I'm assuming that you are hearing it. What's wrong? Go ahead. Where did you do it? I'm not sure.
This is the party for the people of Nevis, the ruling NRP party. I remember 1971, that's when this party all began. Formed by a team of intelligent men, with the aspiration and a good intention to the betterment of our division. Simeon Harris, Ivers, Swanstock, all had this vision to save Nevis from colonialization and be chosen destination to elevate above recession and give work to each and everyone. But it was not easy, I say. We had our hiccups along the way. Still we are being triumphant. We set the infrastructure. Victory, progress and prosperity. Let me rally with NRP. Victory, progress and prosperity. Let me rally with NRP. What the next party did in 14 years, we do much more in 4. Road, water, farming, housing. Let me rally with NRP. 40th anniversary. Let me rally with NRP. Conscientiously, it's the ruling party. Let me rally with NRP.
This works, and okay, that's nice and loud. So I am definitely hearing this one. Good evening, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the launch of the NRP's Manifesto ahead of general elections in St. Kitts and Nevis 2020. I'm going to be your moderator this evening, Ebony Brandon. It's wonderful to be here in lovely Nevis once again. We're not going to waste any time this evening because all of us here, I'm quite sure, are very excited to hear and learn of the plans of the Nevis Reformation Party and its candidates as we get into election mode. A very prompt election brought on us quite rapidly, but that does not mean that people are not on the ground and hard at work. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome the candidate for the Nevis 9 constituency, Dr. Kelvin Daly.
Come my people, come on, get around everybody. Come on, yeah. Let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. Come my people, come on, get around everybody. Come on, yeah. Let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. Come my people, come on, get around everybody. Come on, yeah. Let me tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the candidate for Nevis 9, Dr. Kelvin Daly.
NRP ready to transform Nevis. Ready to transform Nevis.
Following him this evening, someone who really needs no introduction, especially after Monday evening when he did a tremendous job at the virtual public meeting. Bjorn Handley is coming in, the candidate for constituency 10. And seeking re-election is the candidate for Nevis 11, the Honorable Patrice Nisbet. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the candidates in the 2020 general election representing the Nevis Reformation Party. Dr. Kelvin Daly, constituency 9, Bjorn Handley, constituency 10, and Honorable Patrice Nisbet seeking re-election in Nevis 11. Gentlemen, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Most of you, I'm pretty sure, coming off the road. How is that going right now?
It is great.
That's wonderful. What about you, Born? You're both newcomers, but Dr. Daly is no stranger. How is it for you?
Feeling great.
And you look like a pro. I was watching you the other night. You look like an absolute pro.
Oh, yeah.
You look like you've been doing this your whole life.
Yeah. I've been practicing in my mind.
Awesome. And then, of course, Mr. Nisbet, how are you this evening? Okay, so it seems that we're having a little trouble with your microphone, so we're going to take a short break and rectify this problem. If you're joining us on Facebook right now, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm going to be monitoring the feed as well during the course of the evening, so if you have questions, thoughts, feedback that you would like to throw our way during the conversation this evening, please do so. I'll be monitoring what's happening, giving some feedback to the candidates while we're here on stage, and we're going to make this as interactive as we possibly can, given the restraints. It's not very traditional what we're doing right now with the shutdown. We still have curfews in place, and so we're making the best of a bad situation. It's certainly not ideal, and it's an election that we're never going to forget, but we're going to make this as efficient as possible. Take a break, we'll be right back.
I'm Bjorn Handley, and I am your Nevis Reformation Party candidate for constituency number 10, Gingerland. I am a holder of a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Business and Management, and also the founder and CEO of a small media company, BHC Media. Previous to that, I spent some years in England studying and gaining experience, and thus this is why I decided to put myself forward so that I can implement a number of plans and programs for the good people of Gingerland. So, in order to deliver the number of plans and programs, I am asking you, the good people of Gingerland, to please vote for me so that together we can enhance the lives of the people. Once you elect me into office, I will work closely with local entrepreneurs, small businesses, and local investors in order to deliver jobs, and more jobs.
NRP Vision. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.
In this post-COVID environment, and with our need to look in the development of a proactive post-COVID strategy, I am here to endorse the candidacy of Dr. Kelvin Daly. He has a competitive advantage in agriculture as a trained agriculturist. He has a competitive advantage as an educator, and he has a competitive advantage with respect to science and technology. As such, I am endorsing him because I am sure he can develop programs in education to address the needs of our students at college and at the technical level. In agriculture, he is a key player for food security. And given the post-COVID environment where many things are going to be done online and in a virtual context, I endorse Dr. Daly to develop the mechanisms for us to function in a post-COVID world with technology at the forefront.
NRP Vision. NRP ready to transform us. Vote NRP.
Thank you so much for staying with us, and I'd like to welcome back the 122 viewers that we have on Facebook Live right now. Remember that if you have comments that you'd like to share with us during the Manifesto launch this evening, as you hear the offerings of the NRP, please feel free to leave them. I'll be checking from time to time. Honorable Patrice Nisbet, you were just giving your introduction when we had the technical glitch.
Good evening. I would want to say good evening to the good people of Nevis 11 and the people of Nevis in general, and to the entire Federation, those who are viewing and listening to the broadcast by whatever media that we're doing. It has been good, for the past 20 years I've been on the campaign trail, but I must tell you that on the campaign trail each time it's a marvelous experience, a totally different experience, because you meet different people who have different experiences, who share different stories with you. And so this has not been any different in terms of campaigning. And so we are enjoying the task. It's the task in the spirit and in the work of the Nevis Reformation Party to ensure that this political organization has the political ascendancy here in the island of Nevis in these general elections.
So, gentlemen, I would like to start by having each of you tell me a bit about the manifesto that we're about to launch this evening. The motto is right here, NRP Visionary. So I'm expecting something fresh, new. I'm expecting ideas that we have not yet heard in previous political campaigns. Dr. Daly, would you like to start off?
Sure. I mean, what I call my bread and butter tour is a listening exercise when we go house to house. And coming from that listening exercise are a series of policies and programs to better, help residents move from poverty to prosperity. The peace, progress, and prosperity means something to us here in Nevis. And so this bread and butter tour really opened our eyes as to the plights and conditions on which many divisions exist on a day-to-day basis. Now, one of the major issues facing a lot of families is the cost of education, especially tertiary level education. So we've come up with a set of policies regarding how we pay for our education of our young people. Even those who have returned from college, there are policies regarding the reduction in fees, reduction in loans to young people who have returned from college. If I may begin with those programs, that program, the education, we have said quite clearly that persons who wish to access tertiary level education, they should not have to mortgage their lives or put their properties at risk to get education. We believe education is a right of every division, and therefore there must be mechanisms to pay for it. We deem persons who are educated as pillars of our society in most cases. And therefore, when I speak about education, I'm not talking just in the academic sense, but also in the skills trade and those areas, because education covers everything concerning your elevation in knowledge and skill sets. And so we have said that it is high time that the Nevis government or the NIA or the federal government find a mechanism to make education more accessible. To do so, it means a whole new rethinking of how we finance education. We have allowed our recurrent revenue to be used to finance education. We have saying, based on the numbers of persons that need to be educated, that recurrent revenue is insufficient. It is insufficient. We have said that a minimum of 10% of the CBI receipts every year must go into an endowment to support education. So that when a parent or child comes to the foundation and says, listen, I want to go to college, all they need to show is the acceptance letter. That's all they need to show. Right now, it is people who are returning home that you feel the pain for, because they return home full of life and energy, and they come back to Nevis and they're making $4,000, $5,000 a month, and half of that goes into paying your student loan. All right? Exactly. And so the point is, if we are going to finance education, we must find creative ways of doing it. Right? So in terms of vocational education or trade development, it means for us here on Nevis, the establishment of a center of excellence for skills development. We are talking about skills trades, industrial trades, and of course, the softer side of those trades, the hairdressing and the manicurist, massage, those kind of things. So what we are saying to our young people on Nevis, and not so young people, we in NRP have a program to assist you. If you have returned from university, we are saying we are going to reduce your loan payment by 50% in the first instance, and reduce your mortgage payment, your interest payment by 50%. So you get at least a start in life.
So basically, if you come back and your loan is $50,000, you're paying $25,000.
You pay 25, and you pay half the interest rate.
Half the interest rate.
That's right.
So you can't go wrong with that. And then I'm hearing here also very clearly, and I want to make sure I have this right, that one of the things coming out of this, because I'm going through as you speak to fact check what you're saying based on what I'm seeing here, you're offering a free first degree to persons who don't currently hold a first degree.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
Okay. Because I'm hearing that you're going to find creative ways of financing it because it has to be paid for, you know. So I'm expecting or wondering, how, in addition to actual money and grants and scholarships, what else are you going to be doing to make sure you're going to have an office set up where, no, it is somebody's responsibility to seek out opportunities for young people?
Definitely. The idea, this is not a new model, by the way. The model used in many countries in the region who do have CBI programs. They have earmarked a certain percentage of that receipts to education, to agriculture, to trade and development. We have not done that. All of the money received from CBI goes into whatever fund and disappears. We are saying it's time now to disaggregate that model and make it more functional. Mm-hmm. Education, healthcare, agriculture, whatever else you need to put in there. So those monies are dedicated. It goes into an education foundation managed by directors who are not these partisan hacks we now have on boards. So that when persons come, they're not seeing politics, they're seeing the opportunities for young people.
So you have no fear walking in the door and finding opportunity.
Not at all.
Your color doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And this is really, Mr. Nisbet, building on what you would have done when in government some years ago, because there were a number of educational programs that were introduced, and I'm seeing as part of the education agenda of the NRP that you're seeking to reintroduce, redevelop, and expand a lot of these programs as well. I'm looking at secondary school students, because we've spoken about tertiary education so far, secondary students, and for the first time I'm seeing real emphasis on preschoolers.
Yes.
And young children. What can you share with us?
Well, the Nevis Reformation Party, I must say, first of all, when we were part of a federal government, we ensured that the most federal programs were ever implemented in Nevis. And so, young children today who went to school during 2010 and 2015, they can boast that they were able to receive their own personal device. The one-to-one laptop program was introduced to Nevis, where we were able to bridge the digital divide, bring some level of digital equity, and expose our students to technology. In that, we wanted to start the foundation of building a digital economy. And where we started was at the secondary school level. The next step of the program was to ensure that it was placed into the primary level. But for some reason, we lost the government in 2015. And those at the helm after 2015, they abandoned that program. And what COVID-19 has demonstrated, that the introduction of technology into learning is very crucial, because we have been unable in this time to move from offline to online because our children are without devices. And so the Nevis Reformation Party, in a new agenda, will seek to reintroduce the iLiteracy program, because it will go beyond just giving you a computer. We will ensure the various educational platforms that are available will now be incorporated into the learning environment. And so I would want to say to our people and those who are listening out there that this is just a part of the general reform of education, because our education has always been based a particular way. And we feel that the introduction of technology into education is crucial to the development of our human resource here on the island of Nevis. Of course, you know about the REACH program. We brought the REACH program to Nevis, where we were offering scholarships to our students of $2,500. People were being paid to learn in Nevis for the first time. And that was as a result of the work of the Nevis Reformation Party. And so come, after the 5th of June 2020, the REACH will be back for the children of Nevis.
Now, Bjorn, I am seeing something, and I wonder if you can speak to it, because I know Gingerland, your area is full of young parents, young mothers. You come in contact with them every single day. And a lot of single fathers are out there as well, too. Early childhood education, because we can't get to secondary, we can't get to tertiary unless we lay a solid foundation for our children. And I'm seeing some very innovative plans for the modernization of early childhood education. It's not just a babysitting situation anymore. It's not a daycare center for children to just go to and play and sleep and eat. The NRP has some ideas for early childhood education in Nevis.
Yes, certainly, and that ties in with what Dr. Daly said about education. Currently in Gingerland, we don't have, quote-unquote, a daycare center, so we're looking to put an early childhood education center there and hire. That will create jobs as well, and people are going to work in there. And yeah, we're going to have those parents as well would have free time to go out and do other things, because we're going to have well-trained teachers in there, trained at our training center there at Old Manor. They're working, and the kids will be well taken care of.
And my parenthood journey is probably almost over, because I have a child almost 18 years old. But one of the things I was very happy to hear is that we're looking at extended hours for these as well, because there are a lot of parents who work in the hotel industry. They're not on a 9 to 5. And so you're making sure that children are in safe environments with well-trained individuals. So no longer do you have to go seek out a babysitter. There is something that the government is putting in place to make sure that children are safe.
That is true.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is really, really very visionary, because that's that's what I can say about that. What has the feedback to this been as you move around your constituencies as far as education is concerned? Because a great majority of the electorate is comprised of young people, so they must be glad to hear about these opportunities.
Well, in regard to the trade school that we are anticipating that will be built, the young men that we have spoken to are quite excited. Most are interested, of course, in the building trades. And what we have said to them, listen, we're not just going to have you go into an institution. We are going to send you to an institution that is certified. That when you get a certificate in your hand, you can go anywhere, and it has value. They're very excited about that. When we talk to young people who went to the program initially in Trinidad, between 2006 and 2013, they are saying, listen, we want to be facilitators too. We went there, we benefited from training. We want further training, but we also want to participate as facilitators in these institutions. When you speak to parents, though, especially when it comes to the cost of tertiary education, I mean, they can't wait. I know one young person that is paying $2,700 a month to develop back for the next 10 years, working for $4,200 a month.
And this is a first degree, obviously.
The first degree.
So you probably have a first little mortgage as well. You have living expenses. You have
one.
a child.
You can't get one.
Oh dear.
You can't get a mortgage because by the time you calculate what you pay the bank for your school loan, and the bank calculate what it costs for a mortgage,
You have nothing.
You have nothing.
So you basically went away, and your degree is not paying off for you.
You have to wait 10 years, which is a life loan, to really start living. By that time, look at the amount of contribution you could have made to the development of your own country. You could have built a house, you could have employed, you could have started your business, but you are in a stasis for 10 years until this loan is paid off. We are losing 10 years of productivity from our young people in one go.
And then here's the thing as well, because we're kind of jumping all over the place, but you're here again now, and it brings me to postgraduate education. Because there are some plans there that the NRP has for persons who hold undergraduate degrees, but you want to go on and pursue further education.
That's right.
I heard something about no interest loans for these persons.
Zero.
So they pay no interest.
Zero.
And what about finding the money or deposit or something like that?
Nothing.
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 When do you start making your payments when you come back?
There are no payments because you'll be free.
Okay. So you're really taking care of education at every level to ensure that Nivisians have the best possible education.
If you look at countries around the world who have made it into excellence, education has been the blueprint. Has been the blueprint. When you consider that in China, China opens a university every week. A brand new university every week for the last 3 years. Do they know something we don't know? Really and truly, do they know something we don't know? When you look at the model used in Asia, what you call the Asian tigers, the Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, those countries, education has been front and center in the propelling of that country forward. We cannot lose that momentum ourselves. We have to grab it and move with it. Education is a right. We must understand that. It is a right that we all must understand. We all have to participate. When those persons return home, they are making the contribution for all of us to benefit from.
And this takes me to agriculture. It seems strange, but we're at agriculture right now because I was going through the manifesto and in discussions with you gentlemen earlier in the team, I am understanding as well that there are plans for agriculture and fisheries. Now, you speak of the modernization of these, which also relates and ties in very closely to education because you have to have highly skilled and trained people on the ground. You're talking about a fisheries complex in the Nevis 11 constituency, but that is going to be unique because for the first time, Nevis is going to be looking at exporting its seafood products.
That's right. That is right. That is right.
And so tell me about that because I remember some years ago, just before the government changed, there were actually plans for a fisheries complex and it didn't happen. So it is your intention to now seek new financing to bring this back, but you are doing this in a bit of a different way. You want to expand upon that original dream.
Well, this is going to be in Patrice's constituency, Nevis 11, so perhaps he can lead out and I'll follow.
Thank you, Dr. Daly. Dr. Daly, we have always said in Nevis that our fishermen, they have been fishing like the days of old, like in the Bible. And so it is time that our fishing industry come up to the times that we are in. It is time that it is modernized and we have those involved in the industry being able to get the necessary training, being able to access the necessary financing that is required so they get so that they're able to get better equipment, better boats, and so that they can go and fish for hours. You know, most,
For days.
maybe for days. Most of our fishermen now, they go out maybe from 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 11 o'clock they're back. That can't be a sustainable way of fishing. And so if you're really serious about food and nutrition security, we must be able to take advantage of the blue economy. And so what we are proposing in the Nevis Reformation Party is for us to establish a modern state-of-the-art fisheries complex. And we have had the blueprint before. It has been there. The various areas in terms of how it will be designed, Dr. Daly might be a little bit more intimate with that than I would be. But Nevis 11, by and large, is a fishing constituency. When you go to Jessops, when you go to Cotton Ground, you go to Newcastle, you go to Barnaby, Long Hall, these are fishing areas. And it is time that we do something meaningful for the fishers in Nevis. And so we also want to take it to a new level. We want to be able, in this facility, to ensure that we get the necessary accreditation, the necessary certification, so that we can export our conchs, our lobsters, whatever, to the various neighboring islands. It is time that we have been fishing so long that up to now, we can identify 1 million here in Nevis who is a fisherman. The Nevis Reformation Party believe that we have the plan to ensure that fishing will remain a sustainable and a viable way of living in Nevis. And by the way of doing that is ensure that the fishermen of Nevis have a modern and state-of-the-art facility to access. And so, in a future government, after June the 5th, the NRP will put plans in place to ensure that a fisheries complex comes to the island of Nevis. We did it already, and we can do it again. And so, the Japanese, they have always been interested. Although this present NIA seems not interested in investing in a fisheries. And we will approach the Japanese. I went to Japan some time ago. And they want to assist the people of Nevis in ensuring we have that kind of facility here on the island of Nevis.
But your plans go a little bit further than just that, and this is something that would be new and which would boost your goals as we get into discussions later on regarding the economy. It would help to boost your economic goals as well, because I'm understanding that there are plans to get into aquaculture or fish farming on a very serious level, and you have to look at that as an option if you're looking for the capacity to export and to meet the tonnage that you would have to meet the demand.
Yep.
So, Dr. Daly, this might, and beyond, we're going to come to you, don't feel too left out. But Dr. Daly, this might be your area in terms of explaining what aquaculture is, fish farming, and how this ties into the vision for fishing and fisheries in Nevis.
Thank you. But aquaculture basically means an artificial way of farming fish. Just like you have hydroponics or aquaponics, it's an artificial way of, a soilless way of producing crops. Now, when it comes to aquaculture, there are two types. Land-based is called terrestrial aquaculture, or ocean-based, marine aquaculture. Both are viable on Nevis, actually. Back in 2012, we actually entertained serious discussions with the EU regarding an offshore fisheries development program using what you call around here locally cobbler. It's called, its real name is African pompano, but locally it's called a cobbler. It grows very fast. We have the breed stock here. And we were intended to put 3 50-meter pens just off what you call anchoring ground. Those fish would have been fed right through the fisheries plant, the fisheries complex that we were we were planning to build in April, May of 2013. We also had an already established land-based or terrestrial aquaculture system using tilapia. That model there, we had already designed it, stocked it, harvested fish. Again, those fish would have passed through the center for processing. And importantly, what you call the real money, it's called value addition. Taking that raw product and turn it into finished products. We import millions of dollars a year of sliced fish, the same tilapia, all the way from Cambodia, Vietnam, and China. Look where they are. Look who we are. What do they know that we don't know? We import sliced fish from all over the United States. What do they know that we don't know? So there is potential here on Nevis. The issue that Patrice raised is called CITES, where you must be able to guarantee that what you produce is safe to eat, it's traceable, and it's produced in a sanitary environment. What we are saying, it is time now we move into that discussion and make sure that those fish that we're exporting, the conch and the lobster that we're exporting, meet those criteria that the Europeans want, the Americans want, the Canadians want, the rest of the region wants. We export now conch and lobster to Guadeloupe in a kind of underhanded kind of way. We want to be open and transparent and accountable and traceable. We want to be a part of the global community in fish trade. If you're going to do that, you need a proper center to do it. You need proper sanitary facilities to do it. And we are saying the 30 million Japanese funded project we had on the books to start in April or May of 2013, that would have been our ticket to really elevate fishing to another level. But we lost it. What Patrice is proposing is that perhaps we know we're going to have to do it indigenously with local resources unless we can attract back in the Japanese or some other funding agency to get it done.
So let's talk about what people understand in the context of this conversation. What does that mean in terms of jobs and job creation in the industry?
Goodness.
And what kind of money are we talking about coming into Nevis when this program hits its climax?
I mean, tens of millions of dollars. We're talking about, when we had designed the complex at Charlestown, we had about 24 full-time employees and attending staff. Now, in terms of the fishers themselves, the fishers have been declining over years because, of course, you didn't need that large group of people to catch so few fish, and even that sometimes you can't get the fish sold. If those fishers knew, listen, there's a ready market. Whatever you catch can be converted into something valuable. We have a lot of gar. We harvest only enough for the day. We have a lot of ballyhoo. We harvest only enough for the day. We have a lot of flying fish. People don't realize that we only harvest to go bait. There's a lot of fish out there that can be used into making fish sticks, fish burgers, any kind of fish product, sashimi, anything. The problem is we have not capitalized on those value-added products to any degree. Smoked fish. We imported smoked herrings. Why don't we do smoked shark? Why don't we do smoked conch or smoked lobster and those kind of things and put it on the shelf? These are delicacies all around the world. We have not been able to harvest these things because we lack the infrastructure to get it done.
And Nevis is a fertile island. Nobody can doubt that. We've been hit by drought for the last few years. It's not been raining as it normally has, but you also have plans to address some of the concerns of agricultural farmers as well, because they have their own concerns. And coming out of the same COVID-19 crisis, one of the things that we can all recognize is that food security is of paramount importance. We have to be able to feed ourselves. What are the plans? Maybe Bjorn can jump in here and tell us maybe a little bit about the agricultural plans of the NRP.
Sure, we have major agricultural plans, in particular in Gingerland. I'm going to get Dr. Daly to help me with that. And as you know, there's a historic marketplace at Gingerland. We will transform that into a modern farmers market with a state-of-the-art abattoir. And then you're going to have fruit and vegetable vendors there, and they're going to get everything from Gingerland. In the Rollins area, we're going to have fruit farming up there, banana trees, lime trees, orange trees, and exotic fruits.
And so we're looking to perhaps export agricultural products as well once we get to the point where we can feed ourselves here at home?
Definitely. definitely.
And so I'm also hearing perhaps processing plants, because you're going to have a way to process them, package them.
Yes.
All
Yes.
of these are things that I'm seeing coming out of this manifesto in terms of job creation for the people of Nevis.
Yes, we're going to turn agriculture into a major industry on the island of Nevis. Dr. Daly have the expertise. We have the facilities. We have the marketplace in Gingerland. We have the lands, Indian Castle. We're going to do major livestock farming down there. Fence the whole area from Indian Castle all the way to Zion. Irrigation system. We're going to plant grass. We're going to have cattle, sheep, goats grazing all the way from Zion to Hanley's Road, and hundreds and hundreds of animals. And local farmers are going to manage those farms, because we are going to partner with local entrepreneurs through public-private partnership.
So
Empower
healthy,
them.
grass-fed cattle, no more fatty oxtail.
No.
We're not going to see that anymore, because it's all going to
Eat
we can
local.
all go and say that was the cow I'm eating.
That is right.
Okay?
That is right.
That's what we're looking at doing. Fresh mutton,
Yes,
fresh pork,
Right,
for those
yeah.
of us who consume that.
of course. Right there at the marketplace.
Right at the
Right
marketplace.
there at the marketplace.
And so jobs galore for everybody in agriculture.
jobs,
A
jobs,
revitalization
jobs,
of agriculture, in
yes.
fact.
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about COVID-19, because I'm seeing some initiatives in the manifesto which may or may not have come from that. Again, you say it's NRP visionary, so perhaps these are things you've been mulling over well in advance, because that's what somebody who is prepared does. But it has brought some things to the fore. We have the issue right now of people who are unemployed. The diversification of the economy has become a talking point across the region, and so it's good to see things like agriculture, fisheries, that sort of thing coming to the fore. But people also have immediate needs, and we're in the middle of that crisis ongoing right now. Hotels are closed, people are out of work. I have to pay my electricity, I have internet to pay, I have water to pay, I have rent to pay. So we need to talk about housing. We need to talk about immediate relief efforts for people in Nevis to help them through this. If they say to you on June 5th, here you go, I'm putting you back in, get to work. What are you going to do for people who are feeling the squeeze right now?
Well, there's so much that can be done in terms of stimulus. When in 2008, 2010, we had a global crisis, the economic crisis, the J.W. Parry government took the initiative and launched the largest housing boom, I should say, not renovation, largest housing boom this island has ever seen. That's perhaps even bigger than in St. Kitts. We built 375 homes in 5 years. What the important thing about this is that this also occurred during a time when Four Seasons was also closed. So we had two tsunamis hitting the island of Nevis at the same time, the global recession and the Four Seasons. But we steered that ship of state to safe ground. And the centerpiece of that development was to put people back to work through construction, through infrastructure developments. We built community centers, we built houses, we did roads, we refurbished schools, we did police barracks, we put police stations, brand new. And so, when you indicated just now all the things that you have to pay for. You pay for your mortgage, your car note, you got to buy food, pay your bills. When you have the dignity of work, and that paycheck comes in every week or every 2 weeks, you're big and large. You know, it goes a long way in building the psyche of people to ensuring that there is hope on the horizon. Right? And so a lot of contractors were working non-stop. Landscapers, also laying asphalt, people in the mines, the suppliers at TDC and Horsford were making money. The money was percolating into the society. And that is how, let me tell you something. 70% of all economic activity is driven by spending, consumption. If you can put money in people's pockets, the engine of growth continues to go. In the situation we're in now, where nobody has any money, and the Four Seasons is closed, and letting off more people, cutting salaries, everybody's feeling the squeeze. I am yet to understand why this government has not seen fit to increase consumer confidence and consumer spending, knowing fully well those are the drivers of economic growth in any society. It is basic economics 101. Not even that they can get right. Come on there, fellas. I'm not economist, but I got a little common sense. If you are struggling with the economy that's tanking down, then you have to pump money into the economy to make it right. They're not doing it. They're sitting back and hoping for the best. What if we move not with the herd, but away from the herd? That's what the Premier said. It's not good enough. We need hard and fast plans for growth, whether it's through housing, infrastructure development. We have said one of the easiest things to do is to get a federally funded project or even a public-private partnership to develop the Southeast Road from Long Point to Butlers. Think of the hundreds of jobs that will be immediately available to Nivisians to build that road. What the Southeast Peninsula Road did in Bastia from Frigate Bay to Friars Bay to Reggae Beach. Think about when you see now what's happening out in the peninsula in St. Kitts. That road opening in Nevis will have the same effect. The same effect. Open up the country to development, local development as well as international development. Employing a lot of people at the same time, but attracting, as Patrick said, the blue economy. You're attracting housing developments. You're attracting hotel developments. You're attracting a lot of investments. I don't see a single program in Nevis that could match that project for development of Nevis.
And one of the things that we did during that period, which maybe is not mentioned, is that we were able to attract some investment here because the construction industry predominantly employed persons of the male gender. And we were able to move out what was then known as Clear Harbor, and we were able to bring Brownhill Communications to Nevis. That facility was able to absorb a number of female workers.
Hundreds.
And so those persons who would have lost their jobs at the Four Seasons Resort, they had a ready facility available where they could have find employment, and so they were able to continue to pay their bills, send their children to school, and take care of what other obligations that they had. That is what the Nevis Reformation Party did in that very difficult period. Also, I believe the time has come, and COVID-19 has demonstrated that we need some level of structured unemployment relief program. In that, when persons will become unemployed for extended period of time for whatever reason, they must know that some scheme is available that they can apply to, and they will receive some level of relief. It cannot be that the government is going to introduce some ad hoc program when there is some pandemic, and then they are picking and choosing who will benefit from that particular scheme. It is time that we move beyond that situation. So, if a hurricane comes and the hotel is down, if there's an economic and a financial crisis or a pandemic and people become unemployed, they know that there's a scheme available and they can apply and they will get some meaningful relief. Not $1,000 a month that is below the minimum wage. And it can't be that if you get a little pay, you ain't gonna get the 1,000. It has to be a flat rate across the board. Just like they do in Canada, just like they do in the United States, and most first world countries. They send you the checks in the mail. I believe that the time has come for us in St. Kitts and Nevis to have that available to the people people of the country.
And it's not so hard to do, is it? Because we have a program already called Social Security, which is supposed to make sure that we're secure in situations like that. Society feels some sense of security. Is that so? So you're either looking at introducing a new program, or is it that you'll incorporate it into something existing?
Well, it'll be a new program. At the end of the day, the program does not exist. So it will be a new program. Just like how we introduced the long service gratuity, which provides social protection at the end of your work life or after 10 years or 20 years, whatever time. You get some retirement benefit when you're about to leave your current employment. I believe that something similar like that can in fact be introduced to provide the necessary social protection to our people. And the most important resource we have is our people, our workers. They contribute tremendously to the GDP and the economic development here. They participate in our productive sectors of our economy. And so without our workers, where are we going? We are really not going anywhere. And so I believe any responsible government must ensure that they provide the necessary protection, the necessary schemes to protect our workers and our people in very difficult times.
So we're talking the route now of because I want our listeners and viewers and those of us who are here this evening to understand very clearly, this is going the route of legislation, not policy, so nobody can come afterwards and change it.
Well,
if you get back in, you're making sure this cannot be changed.
Well, I am known to pass laws.
You're the lawmaker. But you also have something in the manifesto that I'm seeing that everybody here I know would benefit from immediately. You're promising that if next week Friday you're elected, one of the very first
things... If I'm elected again?
I stand corrected, sir. If you are re-elected in Nevis 11, one of the things that the Nevis Reformation Party is promising every single Nevisian is $200 rebate in electricity relief. Is that so?
Yes.
So if my bill is $250 and I'm getting that 200 rebate, break it down for me and tell everybody here, everybody viewing, what does that mean? Simple maths.
I mean, $200, you know, on your bill.
So I'm paying $50.
If it's $250,
I'm paying $50.
you're paying $50.
So you're wiping off $200.
That's right.
And this is small household, big businessman. Everybody is not pick and choose. Everybody gets to benefit from this because everybody is being affected.
We are not about designing policies that are just catered for a particular sect, a particular clique, a particular group. When we design a policy, it is a non-discriminatory policy. It is an objective policy that is designed to benefit everybody across the board. When we brought you the one-to-one laptop, we didn't ask you if you had 4 or 5 in your house. We didn't ask you how much money your parents have. When we introduced the REACH program, we didn't say it was just for low income or middle income families. We didn't say that. We say, once you are a citizen and you are a resident of the country and you qualify for the particular initiative, you will receive that benefit. That is the way how we craft policy in the country. And so each and every person will benefit from whatever program, whatever policy that is implemented under our watch. That is how we do it.
The NRP has some other plans as well, which will provide immediate relief to households with internet. You are making a promise to provide free Wi-Fi in Charlestown, is that correct?
But it even goes further than that.
It goes further than that.
The NRP is saying to the people of the country that if you have a computer and you have no connectivity, you will not be able to to harness the great potential of that device. And so, in order to increase connectivity in the society, we are proposing that we will give a free internet connection to every household in Nevis who is without a connection now. That is what we are proposing to do.
So you're making sure everybody is computer literate.
Everybody is covered.
Everybody is covered. So grandma, grandpa, everybody will be able to pick up your laptop or whatever the case is and FaceTime the grandchildren or whatever it is. You'll be able to be in touch and in communication.
We are building a digital economy. So, children,
you have to be connected.
Everybody has to be connected.
And this ties into healthcare, the modernization of Charlestown, because there are several plans for the modernization of Charlestown. Is it not the case?
Of course. I mean, when we look at our health facilities throughout Nevis, the only one that has been totally rebuilt was in Brown Hill. The only one, and NRP did it. The Gingerland Health Center has been closed how many years now?
About what, 5 years?
5 years. The conditions at Butler's, Combermere, they have all been in need of repair and refurbishment.
Forget Cotton Ground. You know, the Cotton Ground Health Center is in the community center.
Oh, Lord. So if you didn't have the community center, you wouldn't have healthcare in Cotton Ground? No, my mother was a nurse at the Charlestown Health Center all my life, basically. And I used to go to the Charlestown Boys School just 2 steps away. And so I used to come down there every day to either eat lunch or just hang around. And I went there I went a few months ago, and it is the same place, same old. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't feeling well. So I said, let me go there. I was in the area, not feeling well. So I said, let me get my blood pressure checked, make sure he's all right. And they told it was a Tuesday, and I said, we don't text blood pressure on Tuesdays. Come back tomorrow. I swear. And so I journeyed to the hospital. I was okay, of course, but it just shows you nothing much has changed. We are talking about community health as means of preventative care. I remember my mother used to take her bag and go around to the Craddock Road and Ramsbury and Stony Grove to visit persons who were pregnant if they couldn't make it in, persons who were shut in who couldn't make it in. That was part of the community nursing. We really need to get back into that. Because we are saying 8 of 10 persons who are afflicted with disease in the Caribbean now comes from non-communicable sources. Heart disease, stroke, kidney failures, diabetes, blood pressure. Those things are killing us by the thousands every year. We need to now understand, we need modern facilities, diagnostic centers that can look at persons and see what's actually happening within their bodies. We are now in 2020, having gotten independence in 1983, and neither JNF nor Alexandria Hospital can say they have an MRI or CT scan. But you got a Mondo truck for 15 million. They can't use. We have a half-finished Wally Pier for 8 million, can't finish. We have a police station for 6 million, can't finish. And you have doctors who are guessing. When you come for a diagnosis because you have a pain in your chest, they're guessing what's wrong with you because they cannot see. They don't have the tools to see. We are saying in a new NRP, in a new federal construct, that matter will be sorted out and sorted immediately.
And then this is an opportunity as well for medical tourism, is it not?
Of
because
course.
then if you have a state-of-the-art facility where I'm understanding you're going to have oncologists, you're going to have renal care, so that there's not going to be need to go to St. Kitts for dialysis anymore, as I understand it. It'll be available
here. Right here.
Okay, so plastic surgery is one of the things I'm seeing, and it's big business for the Dominican Republic and other countries. So that's going to all be happening here on Nevis. You can come, you get checked from top to toe, and you don't have to go anywhere else.
You can do it right here. As a matter of fact, Heinz Daniel, who was the Minister of Health under NRP, we had gotten so far in our negotiations with a company to set up that sort of facility over in the river. We had looked at the land, we had agreed on the site. Oh, Hastings was there. And so we had the groundbreaking ceremony and all that. When I look at what's happening in medical tourism in Jamaica, for example, millions of dollars being made in Jamaica. People coming to the surgeries and relaxing in the sun to heal. No stress. Orthopedic and cosmetology, I mean, it's all there. So, I mean, it's incredible the potential we have to unleash in this country. And we wonder sometimes, how is it these guys in the other camp are not seeing these things? How is it they're not seeing it? Okay.
But this also means opportunity. Go ahead.
Ebony, critical to healthcare, where the ordinary man is concerned in Nevis, is the question of affordability. That is critical. Very critical. Because so many lives in this country have been lost as a result of the fact that people have been unable to afford quality health care. You have, especially in catastrophic cases, people have tried to keep bake sales and fish fries and barbecues in order to raise monies,
save their own lives,
in order to save other persons and maybe their own lives. And the experience has demonstrated that that does not work. And so, the Nevis Reformation Party has been in the vanguard in promoting and advocating the establishment of a national health insurance scheme. We believe that if we do that, we will be able to demonstrate to our people that lives matter. People matter. And so, we will ensure that in a new dispensation, because we have heard promises in the past, we have heard promises for the last 5 years, that we would have by now done all the technical work to establish this scheme. But up to yet, our people continue to suffer. Our people continue to experience difficulties with their health care because we lack, they lack monies in order to fund that. The time has come for all of us to come together in a pool and contribute so as to ensure we have health care for all here on the island of Nevis.
Because if you have such an educated people, you need to make sure they're healthy so that they can produce, and we are productive Nevis, correct?
Yeah, and my plan in Gingerland actually ties in with what Patrice Nisbet just said, because I am proposing a state-of-the-art medical center in Gingerland. And currently the health center has been closed for almost 5 years. We're going to build a state-of-the-art medical center with a pharmacy, maybe 2 or 3 rooms, and mini ambulance. It's going to be like a mini hospital there in preparation for the health insurance that the Honorable Patrice Nisbet will bring. And also I have a number of projects that I'm proposing to do in Gingerland. And that ties in with what Dr. Daly said about the training center. We're going to turn Old Manor. I'm going to propose that the government purchase Old Manor. It's for sale. And we're going to turn Old Manor into a skills training center and business center, so that the residents of Gingerland and throughout the island of Nevis can train throughout in a number of skills, construction, carpentry, anything there. And also the sporting facilities in Gingerland, we're going to upgrade all of those as well. Basic things such as lights. We don't have in Gingerland. That will be history. That will be a thing of the past under the Nevis Reformation Party, federal government.
Let's talk a little bit about taxes, and then in just a minute we have a few individuals we're going to invite on stage with us we have a member of the Latino community, we have a member from the Guyanese community, and we also have a youth member who's here with us this evening. We're going to have them on in a little bit. But I want to talk about taxes a little bit before we do that, because taxation is something that comes up very often. People want to know what's happening with taxes, and you have something to say about that. I am seeing that the NRP is proposing a reduction in the VAT altogether.
Yes, the Nevis Reformation Party has indicated some time ago its position with regards to the value added tax. We have had the tax since about 2010, and we have seen the performance of the tax. And in reviewing, we believe that the time has come for us to take another look at the value added tax. And the view is that we believe that the people deserve some relief. And so what we are proposing is a reduction in the VAT rate. It is now pitched at 17%. The Nevis Reformation Party says, in a government, after the 5th of June, we will bring VAT down to about 11%.
That's significant.
We are also saying that you have to look at the issue of stamp duties. Presently, people involved in the purchase of property, when they calculate the expense that is involved in doing those type of transaction, it is rather onerous. And so we want to also take a look at the stamp duties, make it easier for our people to be able to do business and become property owners. We don't believe that a tax should be in place that hampers the ability of our people to become property owners in the country. And so, we think the time has come for us to have a reduction in the stamp duty. We will bring it from 10% to 5%. I am sure a number of our persons will become proud homeowners in the country. And even some of our people will become second homeowners in the country also. It is the major investment most people will make in their lives. And the government must be in a position to facilitate that kind of activity. And so those are two of the taxes we really feel, because they are federal taxes. And we think in a federal government, we will be able to leverage our support to bring about these types of reduction in the rates at which these taxes are charged or levied.
Everybody has to have a vehicle these days. You have some clear plans concerning import duties on vehicles as well, a significant reduction there if the NRP goes into federal government again.
Well, the Nevis Reformation Party did. The Nevis Reformation Party did propose at some time in the past, and we continue. We have included it in our manifesto that we will ensure that every adult in the country will get a duty-free vehicle. That is what we propose. And so, once you avail yourself, once you have the cash to buy it, and you avail yourself of the opportunity, we will ensure that the policy or the legislation is put in place to accommodate that particular matter.
So every person will be entitled at least once in their lifetime.
Once in their lifetime.
You're going to get a duty-free vehicle.
You just got a license.
You just have to have your
You need a
license.
license and you need the cash.
And you're reducing the import duty on vehicles. So those of who seek to bring in a car from Japan or wherever, Singapore, wherever, you're reducing import duty from 84 to 64%.
Yes, that's what we propose.
That's what you're
in the
proposing.
manifesto.
Okay, so it's savings all around because reduce VAT because you have to pay VAT on the vehicle. You're going to get a duty-free concession that gives you at least a start. So there's no reason again for the young person coming back from university to have to wonder about how they're going to get to work.
That's right.
You don't have to be late for work because you can jump in your trans, jingle your key, and move.
But the good thing about it also, the savings at the personal level. If you're saving all this money from not paying the 17% VAT, you're paying now half what you normally pay for the stamp duty. You're now paying a significant reduced import duty on vehicles. Where does that money go? Where does that money go? It goes into further investments, further spending in the economy, which further boosts employment, further boosts efficiencies. So it's a win-win for everybody. People think, well, you guys are giving away the country. We are using a different model of development, which gives the power back to the people. This is critical. We have put the power into the hands of government. They have squandered the resources of state. We are saying, no, let us do something different. Put the money back into the hands of the people and let them decide. Let them build this country as they see fit.
And, you know, we have some very energetic conversation taking place on Facebook. Ties into what you're saying here a while ago. Because people are asking, well, I'm hearing free this, give away that, all of these things for the people. I don't know why anybody would complain about benefits for them. But the question that I'm seeing asked most by some persons on Facebook, where the money coming from to pay for this? How are you going to? I have heard very clearly a number of initiatives that will generate it. And then, of course, you have relationships with governments, there are grants you can seek out. We're still considered a small island developing state. So even through that avenue, there are means of finding financing for a lot of these things you're proposing here. But explain in simple terms to people listening tonight so that they know it's not a pie in the sky thing, it's not promise that can't be delivered. How are you going to finance these things? Where's the money coming from?
Where's the money coming from, Patches?
But we have told you clearly how we will be able to finance our education policies and programs. We have told you that we are going to leverage the resources that are collected by the Citizenship by Investment program in order to fund that. You know that if you reduce some of these taxes, it means, as Dr. Daly would have just indicated, that it is increased business activity. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to collect less taxes. It may very well mean
increase more taxes.
That there will be an increase in your revenue collection.
Because people are more inclined to spend.
Right. You have an increase in consumption, which means that your receipts at the end of the day should in fact increase. So the policies themselves will generate revenue in order to ensure that there is fiscal discipline, that they are sustainable, and that there is no serious adverse impact upon the treasury or the coffers of the state. Of course, some of the developments that we have, we are going to be able to leverage our foreign relations in order to get resources, aid from our foreign partners to assist in the development of our country. That has been done in the past, and we believe that with a more focused way, with a more concerted effort, we will be able to get those who are in the international community who need our support on particular matters to assist us in whatever sector of our economy that we will need assistance in that area. And so, as much as people might think that everything is free, the Chinese teach us one thing. Sometimes they have a low price, but the volume that they sell shows that they are able to make the same amount of money
or more
if they were selling at a higher price, but they only gain a few products being sold. So if you put more cars on the road, you know what that means. More wheel tax. It means
more fuel.
More fuel.
More fuel tax.
More fuel tax.
More parts.
Exactly. So, it is obvious that an increase in the consumption would lead to greater revenues in the economy. So, I believe that we can, in fact, demonstrate in a very clear and cogent way that we will be able, with these policies being implemented, to pay for them.
Okay, and our viewers on Facebook are satisfied with that response, so we thank you for the question.
Yeah. And
There are some plans for the Newcastle airport as well, and that is something else that is going to generate some revenue for the island. And there are plans to revitalize Cherry Gardens. That's something else by way of construction and so on that's going to revitalize and bring money coming in. I think as far as that is concerned, gentlemen, when we sat, we had a conversation of perhaps the establishment of a fixed base operation. So really having an airport that's functional.
Definitely. I think Patches in the last presentation the night before would have spoken about the fixed base operation at Newcastle Airport. In our view, we don't see a way back for airlift from the Vance Emery International anytime soon. We do not see a way. Because if the focus continues, our persons or navies are going to be transiting to RLB through the speedy service from Ole Pier. Remember, they're saving $300-400 on the ticket. If you're going to Antigua from RLB, it costs you $400 less than from Nevis. So why would you want to? No passenger I know of will want to spend extra $400 to go to Antigua. Well, you can simply leave home, drive to Ole Pier, take the water taxi, take a bus, get to RLB, fly to Antigua for $400 less. In the same day. When you had a situation where you had to catch the early morning flight and you had to overnight in St. Kitts, there was a chance. No person is simply going straight from water taxi to RLB to Antigua. So I do not see any way back right now. Repurposing the airport is the only hope right now. The fixed base operation, Patrick spoke about it, is a magnificent idea that would allow international carriers to base their distribution networks here, whether it's for refueling or cargo. Another idea that was put forward by Virgil Brown in 2017 was to use the facilities as a flight school. Pilots are in great demand around the world. Great demand. We have a perfectly well capable airport, landing strip, tower, everything operational, simply not doing anything. Why not use it to train pilots to fill the gaps around the world? Why not train some of our division pilots here?
Mm-hmm. And Nevis already has a reputation for being that luxury getaway. So I am hearing as well in conversations that we had talks of perhaps VIP, concierge services,
yes,
luxury car services, all stemming from there. So the high net worth tourists as part of plans for the revitalization and rebranding really because I don't think after this COVID-19 tourism is ever going to be the same in the region. We have to be new, we have to be innovative, we have to be fresh in our approach to it. And so the plans for the Vance Emery International Airport really tie into what you want for Nevis, because in the manifesto I'm seeing talks of several new hotel projects coming into the island in addition to the ones here, offering support to hotels. Tell me a little bit about those plans. And then I'm seeing something which is absolutely new. I've never seen this before, the establishment of a tourism police unit, so that persons who are tourists and so on, you have a complaint related to that. You have a set of police highly trained just dealing with tourism.
That is the plan. I mean, the model is not a new model. It's new to Nevis, but it's not a new model. When I worked in St. Kitts, at CFB, the medical schools there, the Rosses and those kind of schools, they had their own police unit that escorted students home, make sure they were well inside the houses, they responded quickly to complaints or issues regarding burglars or trespassers. They ensured everything about the safety of their guests. Mm-hmm. We are saying it's time now to extend that courtesy to our tourism product. And I think it's a marvelous opportunity for persons to feel more secure in our country. Not that we have a difficult time, but if persons understand that they'll be checked on, especially those tourists who will be staying in remote areas of the country, that they know that there's a force out there dedicated to their safety, then I think it can only enhance the product. But to say one other thing regarding Vance Emery International, last year Christmas, we were really amused. Not really sure amused, but we were bemused that we saw pictures of persons who were visiting St. Martin for vacation, for Christmas vacation. But because Princess Julian Airport was so full, actually parked their planes in Anguilla and then took the ferry over. Imagine we have such a wonderful opportunity here on Nevis for this high-end tourism. Why can't we attract those kind of clientele, have the apron expanded, have the facilities for those jets to come here and alight here and stay here for the time? I think it'd be a wonderful opportunity for us.
Yeah, and as you can see, the NRP, we have a number of plans, a comprehensive package for the island of Nevis, and that is why we are asking the good people of Nevis to deliver all 3 seats, send all 3 of us to St. Kitts so that we can ensure that the good people of Nevis get their fair share, and so that we can deliver all of the plans and programs that we have in our manifesto. We want to deliver all of that to the island of Nevis, but we need them to vote for us first and deliver all 3 for the Nevis Reformation Party.
So we have a viewer on Facebook Live right now who's saying, Piper, he's watching on YouTube, he's saying, you guys are giving out way too many ideas on the island, you're going to be stealing your ideas. So maybe you can't let everything out the bag right now.
Well, we about the development of Nevis.
Yes.
And then one other thing that before we invite, we're going to have Alexi Phipps come on, and then I'm going to give you gentlemen an opportunity to round off, because there is so much more we could talk about, obviously, but that's going to happen over the next several days. You're planning to establish a national waste recycling center. So we're looking at the environment now. What is this National Waste Recycling Center all about?
You want me to deal with that?
You deal with it, Dr. you deal a lot with
the waste. Well, the idea is as simple as it is elegant. We have, in the past few decades, been moving our solid waste facilities over and over again. As one gets to fill, we pop it over and move to next. We have run out, we are running out of options. The only other fair option is to actually develop a recycling center. 70% of all waste that goes to a landfill is recyclable. 60% of that 75% is compostable, meaning all of the green waste, all of the boxes and paper and grass clippings and trees, all those can be composted into a usable, sellable product. We import compost into the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Break it down. What is compost?
Compost is degraded organic matter. So
we're bringing in things that rotted someplace else.
We are bringing in people's stuff that rotted themselves, and we're bringing it into the country in container loads to put on our plants. Something is wrong with that picture. We are in the Caribbean with trees everywhere, grass everywhere, cow droppings, pig droppings, sheep droppings, fowl droppings. This is compost.
Oh, okay.
This is it. And we are importing it because we haven't had the necessary support to develop a commercial type composting operation. It is crazy. Those again create jobs, massive amounts of jobs. When I see the trucks that are leaving Four Seasons, loaded with grass, heading to the dump, I shudder. I shudder. But getting beyond that, we are saying if 60% of the waste that goes in the landfill is compostable, let us do that. The other 10% are things like tires. What are we doing with all these tires? We have almost 10,000 parked up there at the solid waste now, and they're breeding mosquitoes and killing my friend Kibo. I can't go down there and sit quietly because the mosquitoes are like, missiles coming at you, bloom, 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 non-stop. And we are saying, why not shred those tires into particulate matter that can be incorporated into asphalt for roadways? These are proven technologies. This is not nothing that I'm creating. These are proven technologies. Why don't we use the other 20% of body waste, which is car bodies, truck bodies, bus bodies, all tracks of all types, of all types. Why don't we use those to construct artificial reefs? That, again, enhances the marine environment, You dive tourism improves. Fishing improves. Again, more jobs, more opportunities. And then the dump disappears. Like magic, it disappears. Nevis, it doesn't have the land space to keep moving and pile up garbage. We must be able to recycle that garbage into something useful.
That sounds good. Jasmine says, y'all know I'm a tree hugger and an ocean lover, so this is important to me. And I'm pretty sure it's important to other people as well. Just want to read out some of the comments that we're getting here on Facebook. And in the meantime, I'd like to ask Alexi Phipps to ready himself to come. He's a member of the Latino community here on Nevis, and he has a few words to offer. We already heard from Piper Rosa. Her contribution is a lot of well thought out plans for Nivision. So we're getting a lot of good feedback here. Some people here, Loretta, for instance, she is loving the idea of the plans for the Van Marie International Airport. Okay, so it's not letting me go any further up than that, but we have a lot of comments here, and we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have 185 people watching us right now, and that has nothing to do with the people who are also on YouTube, where we are streaming live right now. Thanks a lot to everyone. So right now, I'd like to welcome Alexi Phipps to the podium, and following Alexi, we'll have a few more persons coming up, and we'll have a roundup here of the panel this evening.
To the people of Nevis, this is your duty in the quest for peace, progress, and prosperity.
Going to Trinidad was an experience, you know? I wish the program could come back soon, though. Because, I mean, the younger youths, them need things to do. You know what I mean? They need to do things. They need to get creative, you know? And in Trinidad, I did auto mechanics. I learned a lot of additional things to what I already know. It was a good experience. Since government changed, it looked like things changed, everything changed. You know? Work ain't coming like before. So, as I said, if the training from Trinidad could come back, as well as more work. To Dr. Daly, you know, he seems like he's ready to work with the young guys, with the young people, I must say. Starting to it. So, I would advise anybody to vote for Mr. Daly, because he's ready to work.
NRP, visionary. NRP, ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.
Good evening, everyone. Maybe some people in here know me, maybe some people don't know me. But in this night, I come in to give a message to Spanish people right now. My name is Alexi Phipps, right? I live in Bad Village. I live in Bad Village, right? But I representing the Hispanic community. Yo estoy representando la comunidad hispana in Nevis Island, right? En la isla de Nevis. I am Spanish, but I love Nevis. I love NLP party. You know why? When I have any difficulty, when I have any bad situation, those NLP people bring a hand to help me. For that reason, I come to here to push the Spanish people voting for NLP. Right? En esta noche quiero darle un mensaje a mi comunidad hispana. Quiero que me ayuden y que voten por NLP. Ayudando al Dr. Deli to going. Ayudando al Dr. Deli que vaya a Saint Kitts. I want Spanish people voting for the Dr. Deli to going up to the Saint Kitts. The Spanish people. The Spanish people don't have any voice in Nevis to helping. But if Deli going up, he can support to helping the Spanish people. Persona hispana, dominicano, quiero que ayuden al Dr. Deli a subir a la isla de Nevis para así nosotros poder tener la oportunidad de cuando hablemos o gritemos, alguien nos escuche en el Parlamento en Sinki. I want Spanish people voting for Delis. When Spanish people cry, we have somebody in the Parliament to hear, to help them. In this night, I telling the Spanish people, the next Friday, 5th of June, voting for Delhi. Este viernes, 5 de junio, voten por el doctor Delhi. Gracias por permitirme estar aquí. Thank you for letting me come to here to spread my thing about NLP party. I want Dr. Delhi, Patrick Nisbet, he's my good friend for a long time. And the young guy, I don't know I see he sometime, but this is my people. I want the 3 gentlemen going to Sinki to give more opportunity to navigate more jobs. The man said, job, and a job. That Navy one. Good night, everyone. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Alexi Phipps speaking on behalf of the Spanish community here in Nevis. That was an endorsement. And now I would like to welcome out Krishna Chatram. He is from the Guyanese community, and it's a large Guyanese community here on Nevis, a very valued community here on Nevis. I'd like to welcome him up to the podium now as well.
And happy people, let me hear you. Let me hear you again. I like that, I like that. Tonight I'm particularly proud to be a supporter of the Nevis Reformation Party. My family moved here many, many years ago, as we call here our home. My dear mother has fallen asleep in the arms of the Lord, and my father has moved back to Guyana. I am still here, but I can vividly remember our journey to Nevis, a journey to remember to improve our lives, a journey that called us to call Nevis our home. Our family joined the ministry at Shiloh Baptist Church as we soon became an integral part of the Nevisian community. I was educated here. I grew up here. And I know the Nevis community very, very well. Intimately, it is my home. I say this because a lot have been said about the non-nationals residing in St. Kitts and Nevis. In fact, in recent times, operatives of the CCM has taken to social media to lay false accusation at the feet of the NRP, attempting to peddle and promote hatred and to contempt towards the NRP. They say that our voters' cards were being taken away from us. But that's not true, Papa. They should go and look for their operatives who practice behavior. Pure diversionary politics. My people, let not your heart be troubled. Because my party, the Nevis Reformation Party, has never tried to harass non-nationals and have always embraced them. Look at the one-to-one laptop program, increase in minimum wage, REACH program, the WISE program, and the list goes on and on and on. I hear that you have a big announcement tonight, so I'm waiting. My people, I ask you to remember. I ask you to remember that it was the NRP that kept the work permit cost at a bare minimum. I ask you not to forget that it was the CCM who doubled the cost of the work permits, thereby making it very hard for you. I ask you to remember that it took the NRP getting back into office to again reduce the cost of the work permit from $2,500 and $3,500 down to a mere $1,000. So who then care about? They care about we? No, me not believe so. I want to remember, you to remember, that the work permit should be paid for by the employers, not by you. But the CCM government has sat idle while non-national are forced to bear that cost burdens. I want you not to forget, don't dare let it out of your mind that it was the CCM who attained office immediately, increased the work permit cost by more than 150%. Yes, what a wicked thing. So now, in the heart of an election, here comes those same men with the same old tricks, trying to fool you. Beg pardon. Well, don't be fooled. I said, don't be fooled. I don't have to worry, and you don't have to worry either, because I know the NRP, when they win the election of the 5th of June 2020, they will do everything in its power to address this situation. Now, I am a Nivisian, and I'm proud of that. My heritage is Guyanese, and I'm proud of that as well. I'm proud of who I am. I love Nevis, and I love Dr. Hay Daly as my brother. I like him. He is my candidate choice in Nevis. And I encourage you to give him a chance. Give him that opportunity to deliver Nevis into the state whereby all Nevisians and residents, all NRP and all CCM supporters can be prosperous and live in harmony. I will finish up shortly, but there's one thing I must ask my party to address. I am a fisherman by trade, and the fishermen in Nevis are a forgotten species. The fishing industry can be prosperous. I received an NRP poster this morning saying that the NRP will invest in a fishery complex and that they will work with the OECS member state to establish fish hatcheries, and that the NRP will increase the seafood production to about 50 million USD annually. I am elated and I commend you for those visionary initiatives. I also wish for you to assist fishermen, and I speak on behalf of all fishermen, that we need assistance in securing modern fishing vessels, training, and equipment. This is important to us. We need bilateral agreements that would provide some protection to us all fishermen while we are out there fishing. Sometimes, we are confronted by different vessels from different territories who you may not know what they do to you. They threaten you, you might not know what they have. We need urgent protection and we need training. Finally, my fellow fishermen have lost boats, and sometimes the entire investment during the water suddenly gets rough in town by the pier. During those bad weather, we are simply left to the mercy of the Lord and to pray for the safety of our vessel. I hope that this is something that you will address when you are elected and re-elected in the federal parliament. I ask humbly that the people of Nevis, and in particularly the non-national community, please vote for Dr. Kelvin Daly. I love him again as my brother, and I know that he will deliver. Good night, and thank you. God bless you, and may God bless the state of St. Christopher and Nevis.
Come my people, come on, get around everybody, come on, yeah. Let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary.
Okay, and so we're up and going again. Thank you so much. That was Krisha Chat from the Guyanese community coming out, speaking on why he thinks non-nationals should play their part in supporting the NRP come Friday. Now, we mentioned earlier this evening that the youth vote is critically important, and young people are sometimes, unfortunately, the first among us to become a bit disillusioned. It's a lot of technical talk, and sometimes it goes over their head. first-time voters would have gone out to register, and I believe passionately in voting. It's the one thing you can do to make a change in the world around you, at least for a 5-year period, to express your pleasure or displeasure with the government. It's your voice. So I'm personally encouraging everybody to get up and vote. But I'm glad that we have a young person here this evening in the person of Mackenzie Liebert. She is a member of the NRP Youth Arm, and she would like to speak to young people in particular this evening. So I'd like to welcome Ms. Liebert at this time.
Good evening. I am Mackenzie Scarborough. I am a proud member of the Nevis Reformation Party's youth arm, and I believe that the youth of our nation is the foundation of energy and vigor for this political party. The Nevis Reformation Party Manifesto of 2020 is a portfolio of growth, prosperity, and betterment for the youth of this nation. The NRP is the only party in Nevis with a youth arm, and that says a lot. With NRP, our country will go forward as a prominent legacy, and they will help gain in new heights of growth and achievement because the Nevis Reformational Party is visionary and transformational. Tonight's manifesto is an outline of projects and programs that will help the island move ahead and for the youth to gain a good footing in this world. Let us all move ahead as the Nevis Reformation Party continues to be visionary and transformational. We don't care about files on the opposition members 10 years ago. Show me your plans now, but I know they can't be better than my party's plans because in the Nevis Reformational Party, we are visionary and transformational. Thank you.
Come my people, come on, get around everybody, come on, yeah. Let me tell you.
Sometimes you don't have to speak for a very long time to be super effective, and I think she was super duper effective. You still going on?
Yes, I am.
Go right ahead, baby, talk to us.
At this time, I would like to invite Yoletta Seabrooks to the stage as we have the Honorable Patrice Nisbet present her a gift as she celebrates her birthday.
Good evening. How are you? How are you feeling? Well, on behalf of the Nevis Reformation Party, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. And in order to assist you in the further celebration of your birthday, we want to present you this very small token to demonstrate to you that we are indeed also celebrating with you, and we are happy for your commitment and your loyalty to the men and women of the Nevis Reformation Party. God bless you.
I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was very nice. And again, you know, I really want to thank everybody for staying in tune with us on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, we have exceeded 200 in viewership and have sustained that for the longest while tonight. And we have several hundred more people who are listening on YouTube. So I think, as small as it is and the circumstances under which we find ourselves, I think we had a successful manifesto launch this evening. Would you agree? I think so. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. We have Stamford, Connecticut, who is in tune with us right now. So we're reaching all over the world. Nevisians away who could not make it home want to know what's happening for the island so that when they come back home, they can contribute. That's amazing. Gentlemen, we had a little interlude. You've had a chance to drink some water, catch your breath, and that's very important because we're at a very important point in the evening. We are closing. But we're only closing this discussion this evening because it continues with the launch of the manifesto. I'd like to start with number 9. Dr. Daly, a few words from you, please.
I must thank all those who have joined us here, physically present, and those in the diaspora who have tuned in. I want to say a special good evening to my own family in the US and the Virgin Islands, my brother Hugh, for always being so supportive of me. They were just as excited as I was to be nominated to be the candidate for Nevis 9. So I thank all the persons, my sister-in-law Twilla, my brother Denny, my sisters Evan and Judith. They're all being so supportive of me. Never a dull moment in that family. But let me say first, I am so appreciative of my team here, Bjorn Hanley and Patrice Nisbet. I don't think you could ask for a better team of young men going off to St. Kitts to bring back the bacon to Nevis. This exercise this evening has been fantastic. I do thank you for your professionalism. You're smart, beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And, you know, when the question is asked, why do you want to represent the people? It is simple. I know how to get things done. I know exactly how to get things done. All of my career, all of my life, I've moved from one exciting episode to a more exciting, to a more exciting. This is the most exciting. And I am looking forward to the challenge of delivering to Nevis what is due to Nevisians. Nevisians and residents, we are moving in a new dimension. The dimension of development, transformation, and as my good friend said, jobs, jobs, jobs.
And number 10, the baby among us, but certainly Bjorn has come with big ideas and big plans for the people of number 10. Your opportunity.
Thank you again, Ebony, and I would like to join Dr. Daly in thanking you as well for your wonderful comments and questions. And I would like to say that you're looking absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And I have a number of plans and programs for constituency number 10. And part of it is we're going to rebuild the digital and public market into a state-of-the-art modern farmers market, abattoir, Old Manor. We are going to purchase Old Manor, turn it into a training and skills center and business center. The library, we build the library into a modern library with Wi-Fi internet and computers. The health center, we are going to rebuild that as well. All these facilities are closed. We are going to open them up and rebuild them. The health center into a medical center with a state-of-the-art pharmacy with an ambulance. We're going to bring back farming, livestock farming in Hanley's Road, food farming in Rollins. We're going to bring back government to Gingerland for the first time in over 30 years. And we're asking the good people of Nevis to please vote for us, vote for the NRP, vote for all three of us because we work very well together. You hear how our plans complement each other. We need all three on the island of Nevis for the Nevis Reformation Party so we can deliver jobs, jobs, and more jobs.
Thank you, Bjorn Hanley, the NRP candidate for number 10, constituency 10. And we wrap it up with the one who is in the house and looking for some company. Come next week, Honorable Patrice Nisbet from Nevis 11. Sir?
Thank you, Ms. Brandon, for your professionalism in hosting this exercise this evening. And I would want to say that the Nevis Reformation Party has this evening presented an agenda that seeks to deal with how we will be able to advance Nevis in the next couple of years. And I believe that if you are really serious about Nevis, if you have the interests of the people of Nevis at heart, you will align yourself with the plans, programs, and policies of this Nevis Reformation Party. We as a team we have come together with the necessary support staff. And we have brought you a mixed bag of proposals. I say a mixed bag because when you look at the proposals, there are proposals for the youth, there are proposals for the middle age, and there are proposals for the elderly. So each sector of our society can identify with this manifesto of the Nevis Reformation Party. And it is a manifesto that is designed to improve education in Nevis. Of course, you have heard our bold and innovative policies which are designed to bring a better quality of education for every man, woman, and child in Nevis. Of course, you have heard how we will be able to provide a better quality of health care for all citizens and residents of Nevis. Again, we understand the state of affairs with regards to the economy of Nevis. And throughout our manifesto, there are a plethora of ideas that will bring a resurgence, will bring some invigoration, some buoyancy to the economy of Nevis that has been missing for the last couple of years under this concerned citizens movement. And so, I would want to urge the voters in Nevis, when you head to the polls on June 5th, 2020, I want you to give consideration, careful, methodical consideration to the policies and programs of the Nevis Reformation Party. If you believe in a new vision for Nevis, well then, you must align yourself with the transformatory policies of the Nevis Reformation Party. Good night and bless all who are listening to us on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much. This was the launch of the NRP's 2020 Visionary Manifesto. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Those of you in Connecticut, I want to thank those who hit us up from Orlando, in Florida, Miami, wherever you are, Nevis 9, Nevis 10, Nevis 11. We've seen all the comments, and the ones which need to be passed on, I certainly will be doing so. The social media team is on the ball as well. Let me tell you, and these are my 2 cents, because I'm the moderator and I don't have an opinion, but I do, again, feel very passionately about voting. We're in a state of emergency right now. We don't know what's going to happen. So I need you. I appeal to you and I urge you, whichever party you support, go out and vote. This is your right. It is your duty. Don't let your card pick up dust and go to waste. Have a wonderful night. Those of you here, get home safely. God bless.
Come my people, come on, everybody. Come on, yeah. Let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Ready to transform Nevis. And let me start out with the transformation of healthcare, universal health insurance, free university education and training for nurses and doctors. What about the farmer them? The fishermen too, the millers and the contractors who want state-of-the-art equipment like big trucks and boats with engines and tractors. Warm to the people who want drive the vehicle, taxi drivers and busmen. It's all in the plan with transformation, duty-free and all transportation, concessions and training to attract more locals in their profession. NRP and a mission, we done that division and we made the decision. We made the decision to transform national security, so no breaching our security, and we find it necessary for an intelligent agency. Still performing while we transforming, high level of transparency, and we need more legislative authority. Cause we are visionary, come to transform Nevis. We are visionary, come to transform Nevis. And I be a visionary, come to transform Nevis. Come to transform Nevis. Cause it's really needed. Transformation of tourism
tourism, the rehabilitation of Charlestown. More marinas, more resorts, and our hospitality can't done. Transformation of education and a scholarship fund. Investing in energy and water is full time now. Cause we are visionary, come to transform this. We are visionary, come to transform this. And we are visionary, come to transform this. Don't forget the state of the art, to link up, think is a Nevis. Visionary, we are visionary.
Nevis! Tell them who can handle it, just leave this.
Hi, I'm Beyond Hanley, and I am your Nevis Reformation Party candidate for constituency number 10, Gingerland. I am a holder of a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Business and Management, and also the founder and CEO of a small media company, BHC Media. Previous to that, I spent some years in England studying and gaining experience, and thus this is why I decided to put myself forward so that I can implement a number of plans and programs for the good people of Gingerland. So, in order to deliver the number of plans and programs, I am asking you, the good people of Gingerland, to please vote for me so that together we can enhance the lives of the people. Once you elect me into office, I will work closely with local entrepreneurs, small businesses, and local investors in order to deliver jobs, and more jobs.
NRP Vision. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.
In this post-COVID environment, and with our need to look in the development of a proactive post-COVID strategy, I am here to endorse the candidacy of Dr. Kelvin Daly. He has a competitive advantage in agriculture as a trained agriculturist. He has a competitive advantage as an educator, and he has a competitive advantage with respect to science and technology. As such, I am endorsing him because I am sure he can develop programs in education to address the needs of our students at college and at the technical level. In agriculture, he is a key player for food security. And given the post-COVID environment where many things are going to be done online and in a virtual context, I endorse Dr. Daly to develop the mechanisms for us to function in a post-COVID world with technology at the forefront.
NRP Vision. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.
To the people of Nevis, this is your duty in the quest for peace, progress, and prosperity.
Going to Trinidad was an experience, you know? And, I wish the program could come back soon too. Because, I mean, the younger youths them need things to do. You know what I mean? They need to do things. They need to get creative, you know? And in Trinidad, I did auto mechanics. I learned a lot of additional things to what I already know. It was a good experience. Since government changed, it looked like things changed, everything changed. You know? Work ain't coming like before. So, as I said, if the training from Trinidad could come back, as well as more work. To Dr. Daly, you know, he seems like he's ready to work with the young guys, with the young people, I must say. That's good. So, I would advise anybody to vote for Mr. Daly, because he's ready to work.
NRP Visionary. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.
As youths of today, we are the leaders of tomorrow. What are you waiting for? Join the NRP Youth Arm today.
We voting for
Some of the issues that are important to me are the cost of education. The NRP has a history of offering youths like me scholarships so I could fulfill my dreams to be whatever I want to be. Lack of jobs has also been a topic amongst my peers. Every year, more than 300 students leave school and enter the workforce, but the current government has failed to create any jobs.
NRP visionary, ready to transform Nevis.
As youth, we cry out. We are vocal, and I, for one, cannot contain it any longer. But the current premier hears no one. We complain about the lack of employment opportunities, and he shows us his socks. We complain about the lack of opportunities to obtain a university degree, and he brags about lobster being a part of his diet. We cry in want of a better way for ourselves, a better future. And he says, look at me in my new blue suit. Are these basic things too much to ask of our premier? I think not. His record indicates that he does not care and that the job is more than he can handle. Perhaps it's time for him to go.
NRP visionary, ready to transform Nevis. Sitting around and saying that you will not vote because things are bad is not a reason to stay at home, but it is the perfect reason to go out and vote for someone like Dr. Daly. Voting is a platform for change, and quite possibly the most important one at that, to vote in candidates that want to change the problem you see. NRP visionary, ready to transform Nevis.
Voting matters. From age 18, I registered and have been voting since it is important to play my part and your part as youths in this democratic process to elect our leaders, men and women who have our best interests as Nevisians at the core of what they do.
NRP visionary, ready to transform Nevis.